Let me just say this really clear. I am not a liberal out here. I'm not some anti-American activist or nothing like that. All right, I'm a combat vet who's been to the Middle East and seen this firsthand. Let's talk for a minute. Let's just sit back and talk because I wasn't planning to do a video tonight. I really wasn't. And I'm not going to sit here and baby you guys either, but there's just some things that I need to say because I've been watching a lot of this stuff lately and it just doesn't sit right with me. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing things right. And if I am wrong, I would like for you guys to explain it to me. Okay? So I don't want you coming in here just to belittle me or call me a liberal or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, if you see things differently, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm doing, then explain it to me. Don't just come in here insulting. Explain it to me so I can learn just as much as you're trying to learn too. Because all of these things are complex, and I don't think any of us are experts enough to say we know definitively everything. All right, but I can say for certain we do have some things that we can look back on, and you guys are a part of it. All right, I'm not going to be calling anybody out specifically by names, but we did have a poll that you guys, specifically the conservative side of people, started to say. Okay, because 9 months ago, we saw online everybody was saying the same thing. People were tired of endless wars. People are tired of the United States going to the Middle East for another conflict. People are tired of watching young Americans go to places that the average person here in America can't even explain. Okay? And honestly, I agree with that 9 months ago, and I still agree with that today. All right? That's the truth. So before anybody wants to label me any kind of thing, let me just say this really clear. I am not a liberal out here. I'm not some anti-American activist or nothing like that. All right, I'm a combat vet who's been to the Middle East and seen this firsthand. Okay, I've watched Americans actually do what they need to do in the sand, dealing with people that they don't recognize and have to understand their lifestyle and language and whatnot. It's not easy. So I know a little bit about this, and I'm not going to claim that I'm some expert on this, but I can tell you that we do not want to continue sending young men and women overseas to fight another country's conflict. I can say that. I pay attention. All right. And when people start casually talking about war like it's just over there, it's just some other thing, it just baffles me because these are the same systems and suit and ties that were telling us all of these things, and we didn't believe them last week. 2 weeks ago, we didn't believe anything they were saying because of the files and whatnot. But all of a sudden, we have some blind allegiance that I just do not understand or that I'm supposed to just get in line with. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to just sit there blindly supporting something that I do not support, especially as a Christian. All right, my foundation is really simple. God, family, country. In that order. Okay, and if what's going on with the country does not sit right with my values, I'm going to speak up on it, and I should be able to speak up on it without being labeled an anti-American or a liberal or anything like that. I'm trying to have a conversation and explain things from an outer perspective, from experience. Okay, experience that 99% of you do not have. So the blind allegiance part is what really bothers me, and I think we got to have a real serious conversation about that. Because there is a difference between loyalty and blind allegiance. Okay, loyalty literally means you care about your country enough to protect it. Blind allegiance means you stop asking questions. Okay, I'm not going to stop asking questions, period. I don't care what side of the coin it's on, who's in office or whatnot. I'm going to ask questions. Okay, that does not mean I dislike him or I don't like or I'm anti anything. I'm just questioning where my tax dollars are going and where we're going to be sending our resources. And these are valid questions anybody should be asking. Anybody should be asking these questions. That doesn't make you any kind of weirdo or any kind of anything, an ist or an ism. And it's really funny how the right all of a sudden is doing the exact same thing that they claim the left was so bad at doing before. It just baffles me. It is absolutely mind-boggling. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? So history's already shown this over and over again that blind allegiance is dangerous. Okay? It's written everywhere possible. Because when citizens stop questioning power, power stops answering to the people. That's your power. Patriotism does not mean blind obedience. It means responsibility. Okay? It means responsibility. And you guys are responsible for this. Because we're going to talk about something that I find pretty interesting. Because a while back, about 6 months ago or so, 9 months, was it 9 months ago? A while back, Charlie Kirk put out this post, and a simple question he asked: should the United States get involved in Israel's war with Iran? And 500,000 people voted. 500,000. Okay? 500,000 people voted, and the result was 90% of you said no. Not 50, not 60, 90% of you said no. I need you guys to think about that. Think about who Charlie Kirk's audience mostly was. Conservatives, veterans, America First voters, people who support the military, people who support law enforcement. And almost every single one of them said the same thing. We do not want another war. That's the part that I do not understand. But all of a sudden, the same suits and ties come on the TV and tell you, it's Iran, we're going to war. And all of a sudden, we're like, let's blow them up, forget them. I don't get it. Because as a Christian, I don't have any kind of cheer or any kind of good feeling when we're talking about blowing people up. I just don't. Period. I don't. But I want to ask you guys a question, and a serious question at that. When did questioning war stop being patriotic? When? This question keeps coming back to me, and I really want to know. When did questioning war stop being patriotic? When did start asking for answers become controversial? Like, we're sending our tax dollars over there, so why is it controversial to ask questions? Because historically, questioning war was part of the American tradition. I mean, George Washington, they were asking questions over tea tax. Our founders debated war. Congress debated war. Citizens debated it. But now something's real weird going on here. Like if you don't have this blind allegiance or something like that, then you're cast out. And that's not okay. That is dangerous behavior. Because it's the same behavior that you said was wrong when the Democrats were doing it. So it can't be okay for you just because it's your team that's up at bat. That means you don't have any principles. That's the honest truth. You don't have any principles if that's what you're doing. You don't have any true principles. And if you feel called out, well, lace that shoe up and wear it. Okay? If you ask questions, that's how you get answers to things. If you just go off of what the TV tells you, now you're speculating because you don't know. You're already spun a narrative from the beginning.
Benjamin Netanyahu did. This happened because Israel wanted it to happen. This is Israel's war.
President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people, people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand.
Period. We've had over 2 decades of war. 2 decades. Since 2001, we went to Afghanistan in the war. 2003, we're back over here in Iraq. Thousands of American lives lost, trillions of dollars spent. The estimate of the cost of 9/11 was over $6 trillion. We're 39 trillion in debt right now. We want to go ahead and proceed with a Middle Eastern war. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just does not make any sense. And if you think about it, if you ask the average American today, what's the final objective of these wars? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody, and we're not stupid, but nobody knows, because nobody actually knows unless you want to talk about regime change and what we're actually trying to do. But then you start labeling people conspiracy theorists and all that, and you can't even have a civil conversation. You can't. They've already programmed you to believe what the TV and the suit and ties are telling you once again. After letting you down 500 billion times before, they just let you down with these files, and you guys are going right back to believing what they said because it's your team up at bat, and they're killing people that you don't like. That's the truth. Period. You don't like it, I know, but that is the truth. But war isn't just this video game, okay? It's not a map on the TV. It's not arrows moving across a line from here to here. It's actual people. Young people, kids. Kids are affected whether they're actively engaging in the fight or not. That's their home, so they're affected by this no matter how you look at it. And I don't care if they were born there or not. They're kids. They are kids. Okay, these are families waiting on the phone, waiting for a phone call, a letter, to hope that their son or daughter doesn't happen to be going over there or is affected by this. That's war. It's funerals. Okay, it's leaving home hoping that they come back. This is the part where I need you to understand this is bigger than just Call of Duty. I've watched people come home with injuries that they will carry over forever. Forever. And the hardest part is, back here at home, Americans still can't explain what the war was for. What we were doing in Afghanistan, we just gave it all away. We got the Taliban doing parades and stuff with our equipment, and we're just supposed to be okay with it. But at the same time, just yesterday, March 4th, there was a 357 to 65 vote right there within the U.S., right there in D.C. The House of Representatives voted 357 to 65 to block the release of misconduct investigation record tied to members of Congress. I need you guys to think about that. Of course, this war is going on. Everybody's talking about the war. And they snuck that in. Your House of Representatives snuck that in yesterday. 357 members of Congress voted to keep that stuff hidden from the public. So that means 65 of them are on the people's side. That's what that means. Period. The same political class that talks about transparency and all this overwhelmingly hide their own stuff, their own misconduct investigations. They want to hide it from the people. That is insane. And you guys are okay with it because you don't question the process. That also had a process. But there's a pattern here. Okay, when it comes to protecting themselves, Washington moves fast, they move united. But when it comes to protecting you, the American people, suddenly everything just becomes complicated. Okay, because it's a game to them. They're not out there protecting you, they're protecting them. Period. And we're starting to notice this. If you're not starting to notice, you're going to notice it by watching this video, because you can't unsee these things once you've seen them. Everyday Americans are flipping the bill, paying for this war time and time again. Over time, we can't even afford gas, but yet here we are dealing with this war now. They're covering up their own sexual misconduct. They're going to cover that up. But Iran is our biggest threat. Just last week, we didn't trust the media. We didn't trust the system because of the files. Just last week, but this week it's okay. Come on now, wake up. Another emergency, another war conversation. Pause, everybody, look this way, look that way. Because that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And you guys just eating it up. I'm watching you guys in the comments just eat it up. Completely forgot about Congress in your own state that's going on. Completely gave up and forgot about it. Because Iran's the biggest threat, they told you on TV. But the Bible actually speaks about real leadership and accountability, ladies and gentlemen. Luke 12:48. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. Power comes with responsibility, not immunity. And Jesus warned people about deception, specifically Matthew 24, verse 4. Take heed that no man may deceive you. That warning applies just as much today. Don't let man deceive you. Man. Do not let man. That means Donald Trump. That means Hegseth. That means BB. That means Shlomo. That means all those motherfuckers that you guys are over here rooting for. You can't let man deceive you. Okay, that's where you have to have your own principles. Okay, because Jesus does talk about the peacemakers. And what's going on right now is not peaceful. Okay, he also said something that rarely gets mentioned in the conversation. Okay, Matthew 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. The peacemakers, the children of God. That didn't say any chosen people. He said, blessed are the peacemakers, will be called the children of God. He didn't say any one specific places, the chosen people, or nothing like that. And Jesus never talked about any specific chosen people. As a matter of fact, that conversation was brought back up after Jesus was gone, and James the Just had to fix it and identify that you don't want to make it hard for people to gain closer to Christ. Period. Period. Wanting peace, wanting truth, wanting answers before sending people to die, that is not weakness, ladies and gentlemen. That's the wisdom that you absolutely need to hold on to. You should be asking these questions and demanding answers. You shouldn't just be blindly supporting it because it's your team up at bat. The real question for you guys is, if people are willing to question the same system yesterday, why are you suddenly trusting the system today? Why? What changed? Seriously, what changed? Because last week nobody wanted to trust the system, but because our team is up at bat, we have to just go ahead and blindly support it. Explain it to me, please. Let me know. Bring me the facts. Don't just call me names. Bring me the facts. I want to make something real clear before anyone tries to twist this. I'm not here to sit there and tell you what side to take. I'm just trying to tell you that this is a lot bigger than you realize. Opposing another war does not make somebody anti-Israel or anti-American. Okay, it does not make somebody pro-Iran. It definitely does not make anybody a traitor. Wanting honest answers before sending human lives into combat is common sense. Period. This isn't just some vacation or some video game. And if you're a veteran out there watching this, I want you to drop a comment, a serious comment. If you've actually listened to this, I want you to drop a serious comment. If you made it to this point in the video, please leave a comment if you're a veteran, especially if you served overseas in the Middle East. Tell people what you think, because civilians deserve to hear from you, people who've actually heard and actually lived through it. And I know there's a lot of revenge that people have. If you just want to share revenge stories, I don't want to hear it. I don't want, because we can go all day about revenge stories. But if you want to look at this from an outer perspective and actually share some perspective, please do. All right. And if you guys know anybody out there who might benefit from this video, please share this. Drop the link, share this out there. Or somebody who's serving right now, share this with them, because their voice belongs in this conversation. If you're overseas right now and you happen to get this video, drop a comment. I want to know what it's like, really. I want to know from the horse's mouth. If you're currently getting called up to go overseas, I want to know. Put it in here. Drop a comment and share it. I'll do a video with you. I want to know. I want to hear it from you, because I do support the troops. I do support my brothers in arms. I support this country, God bless America. But please, question the wars. Later, guys.